Am I the asshole for reporting a delivery driver who I thought was lying to get out of doing more work? So today for lunch, I decided to order from a Mexican restaurant through one of those food delivery services. I've had a bad experience or two where my order was missing some items, but the drivers would always be gone before I realized and could catch them to fix the issue. I'd always have to report it through the app's support chat, which is such a pain to use because they obviously outsource their representatives, and it's frustrating trying to communicate with them. I usually give up after a few messages back and forth. When my driver arrived, I told her to stay so that I could check the bag and make sure everything was there. I noticed she kind of raised her eyebrow for a moment, but otherwise, she stood quietly and waited. Sure enough, a couple of things were missing. I politely said that she needed to return to the restaurant and get my missing items. In a very neutral, rehearsed-sounding tone, she said that it's against company policy to do that, and I should contact support through the app. I explained that I preferred not to deal with support. She said they're the only ones who can help, and she's really not supposed to go back to the restaurant. I was a bit annoyed at this, so I asked what the company policy was on making sure orders were correct. She said that the restaurant closes the bags for the drivers, and they're not meant to open them or the containers inside. Something about food safety violations, and not being trained. After a moment, she apologized for the trouble and left. To me, this honestly just sounds like a bunch of bullshit excuses to get out of her doing her whole job. If they can't go back to the restaurant, how are customers supposed to get their food or money back? If they can't open the bags to check the orders, how do they even know that they're delivering the right food? It makes no sense to me. So on the page where I rate my driver and can leave feedback, I made a note of my situation and explained why I thought that she was in the wrong. I then left 1 star and revoked my tip. A bit later, I was talking to my sister over the phone, who I thought would enjoy the story because she works for a different but similar delivery company, and my sister said, "Did you actually think she was going to go back to the restaurant?" I laughed, thinking she was taking a dig at the competing company's drivers, but she just said, "I'm not joking. You literally reported her for following the rules." At first I thought my sister had misunderstood a part of the story or something, so I kind of brushed it off, but now based on her reaction and what both her and the driver said, I'm wondering if they're right. Am I the asshole for reporting her and taking my tip back because I thought she was lying? In the comments, you're the asshole. Their job is to get the package from one place to the other. The restaurant's job is to send the correct order. You are punishing her for something out of her control and should instead contact or rate the restaurant for the error. OP replies, "I guess I just don't understand how it's out of her control. She didn't do her job by not delivering me my complete order. Should she not be taking some sort of steps to make sure it's all there? You're the asshole. She followed the rules and did her job. And by the way, it would be super wrong and not safe for a driver to open bags and containers with food that they're delivering. Food safety rules. Jeez." OP replies, "As far as I understand it, the driver is a stand-in for me at the restaurant. When they are picking up food, they are picking it up on my behalf. If I'm paying extra money to have food picked up on my behalf, I would expect them to check the order and make sure it's right the same way I would. They are there and I am not, so I pay them to do it for me." Cam Mum says, "You're the asshole. Did you expect her to unwrap your burrito and make sure that it had cheese on it too? The driver was correct, and to revoke your tip was an asshole move." OP says, "I would at least expect her to ask the employee if the burrito was in the bag and had cheese on it. Is that too hard? It's not her job. Her job is to collect your order and bring it to you, which is what she did. You're the asshole. She explained it kindly and calmly, and you were a jerk about it. She was not lying, and you're an asshole for thinking that she was, and even more for the review that you left. Contact the support through the app like everyone else. Chances are your meal will be free, and then remove your review and apologize." OP says, "See, I thought she was lying because she was so calm. It sounded like she had the answer rehearsed and ready for anyone who had a complaint. Or maybe she had it rehearsed because that's how they train people for situations exactly like this. She probably has it memorized word for word because of how often she has to tell Karens like you to complain to customer support via the app instead of blaming the driver. It's not her job to get your order right, it's her job to deliver it on time. No guys, you don't understand. I'm paying them to open up my burrito and give it a taste just to make sure that it's cooked right. How is no one else understanding this simple logic? You guys obviously never worked a delivery job in your life. What, you don't get knuckle deep into their chips just to make sure it's fresh and hot for them? Oh my god, you obviously don't care for the customer that you're delivering it to, do you? This is so ridiculous. How is OP still fighting with everyone in the comments, being like, no, you're all wrong. There's some weird psychosis going on here. Just shift the goalposts a little bit and maybe you'll see where I'm coming from. OP, you're not winning this one. It's just not happening. You're the asshole here. Just admit defeat. And now for the update. The delivery driver found the post and replied. Oh my, is the world really this small? This could be a total coincidence, and I guess I have no real way to confirm either way, but I had a very similar conversation with a customer today over a missing burrito and a side of cheese dip. Even if you're not the person that I've talked to, I'm off the clock now, so I have some more words for you and people like you. First off, it's so annoying when people say, oh, hold on a second, just want to make sure it's all here. Right then I know I might be about to waste time having this exact conversation. Yes, it's scripted because it happens all the time, and it's easier to be prepared. Second off, I cannot return to the restaurant. If I don't mark your order as delivered in a given amount of time, I start getting calls from dispatch. If I mark your order as delivered, then go back to the restaurant, I've lost your order info because the system thinks that I don't need it anymore. And usually I have another order waiting to be sent to me after yours, so I have to move on to that one. Third off, stop and think about it. Do you want a person that you don't know opening your food containers with their hands that have been touching a steering wheel, dozens of door handles and doorbells, cash tips from questionable places, and that haven't been washed all day because they've been in a car? It's nasty, and it's not sanitary. I try to verify with restaurants, but most of the time they're practically shoving me out of the door. So, sorry. Fourth off, I spend literally all day, delivering food to people just to make money. With one of my companies, I have no choice but to deliver orders that I'm given, so I can't be lazy. With the rest, I still can't be lazy because if I am, that means less money. You know nothing about this industry. I couldn't say this before, but I could say it now. You're the asshole. In the comments, I'm really sorry that you had to deal with her. And the driver replies, it happens sometimes. I did everything in my power. When a restaurant hands me a Tide bag with Tampa stickers on it, that power is limited to asking, is everything here? Half the time the person who hands the bag to me isn't the person who bagged it, and then it's an unreliable confirmation because they don't know either and they also can't check. This OP is such a jerk. The bags the delivery workers are picking up are often stapled and sealed. The delivery person can't check the order at all. If the order's wrong, and consistently, that's the fault of the restaurant. Blame the correct people and stop ordering from a place if they keep getting the order wrong. And they're stapled shut because the restaurant and the driver don't want any he said, she said about what's in the bag. How many times have you seen people post about DoorDash drivers drinking their Coke or whatever? Exactly. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. OP is the type of person to complain about food items missing from their delivery order and then complain about the bag being opened if the driver happened to check for missing items. Extremely entitled behavior. It's just reminding me, if any of you guys saw it, I think like a week or two ago, there was that person that started just absolutely flaming a delivery driver in the food order app, whatever they were using. I think it was DoorDash. And that driver was like, I'm sorry, I'm new to this. This is like my first day on the job. I have no idea what I'm doing. And the person ordering the food was just like, you are the scum of the earth. You are 5 minutes late with my food. I'm gonna make sure the internet knows not to deal with people like you. I hate you. It was just some crazy over-the-top reaction from this person to just get this person's face online and shame them for having the audacity of being late with the food order. How dare you? I myself, I love doing Uber Eats every now and then, is just changing it up, doing little side quests here and there, get out of the house. And I've thankfully not dealt with anyone like that for quite a long time. But when you do meet an asshole that has this entitled behavior, that has a gigantic stick up their ass, I definitely understand where the delivery driver was coming from. It actually is a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation. What do you want me to do about it? I'm just a delivery guy. Hey man, take it up with the restaurant. Anyway, thank you, delivery driver, for coming out and delivering justice. God bless you. Our next post is by a throwaway account, and it's titled, "Am I the asshole here for divorcing my husband because he wants his son in his life? My husband and I have been married for 2 years. About 6 months ago, a one-night stand of his called him and told him about their son. After a DNA test, my husband is confirmed as the father. The kid is 5, and we've been together for 4 years, so it's not like he cheated. He agreed to meet his son, and they've hit it off well. They've been spending a lot of time together, and the mother is happy to let her son connect with his dad. But the problem is, we both agreed to a child-free life. Neither of us wanted kids. He got a vasectomy, and I got my tubes tied. We had a talk about this, and he says that it's his responsibility to take care of his kid, and he says that he hopes that I can support him. But I don't want a stepmom's life. This may be cruel of me, but I can't stand children. My husband knew this about me. I don't dare to force my husband to choose me or his kid, but this isn't the life that I agreed to. I haven't told my husband yet, but I'm already talking to a lawyer. I don't know. I just don't know what to do here." In the comments, "No assholes here, but sounds like this marriage is over due to irreconcilable differences." Yeah, one of the very few on Reddit that I can actually go with no assholes here. It's his kid, he did not cheat, had the kid, technically, before meeting OP, and when he made the promise of being child-free, he meant it and acted accordingly. As it stands now, no choice. Circumstances have changed by no other reason than they changed. No malicious intent, parties should walk away amicably and wish each other well. Agreed. I know it will hurt them both, but it's the adult thing to do. Respect him for stepping up to his responsibility, and OP should be respected for not making him choose. It's an impossible choice. No assholes here. He's doing the right thing for the child, which is his due. You need to do what is right for you. Not wanting children and/or leaving due to this upset does not make you a bad person at all. He could get mad at you, I don't know, but if he does, his reaction doesn't define you either. It sounds to me like you're doing everything right. Now you just have to tell him. I don't envy you. Good luck. Leaving when you can't stand kids is ideal too, and protects the child from unintentional harm as well. Laudable choice when you know that you're not a kid-friendly person. No assholes here, but what did you expect to happen when he found out he had a kid? Were you expecting him to be a deadbeat dad? Let this man go. OP says, "I don't know what I expected, but I wanted to at least try to acclimate to this. But I can't. Child-free here, circumstances have changed. Even though he didn't want to be a father, he's now one. If you don't want to be married to a father and be a stepmom, you can either live separately for 13 years or divorce. Just know that your husband will not be able to be as available, and his finances and plans, will, college, milestones, will always include his son now. I feel bad for both of you. I wish you the best with whatever you decide." And OP says, "I'm aware. He's been so busy lately that we rarely get time to even talk now. You do what's best for you, but good for your husband for stepping up and acting like a man. Don't forget that he'll also be paying child support, so you better file soon or it might affect your divorce." OP says, "If you're talking about alimony or assets, don't worry. We don't own a house. We rent currently. We were going to buy a house, but this happened. Any other assets would be easily divided, and I make about the same as him. I don't need alimony. OP on if she has a relationship with her husband's son. Me and the boy, I guess you can say we get along okay. I feel like he can sense my discomfort with the situation, which I try to ease. I've tried to welcome him into our house, but honestly, he's more excited to hang with his dad. The baby mother doesn't seem to like me much. She's not outright hostile, but she tends to ignore me and always seems to be on guard around me. She hadn't reached out because she never caught my husband's full name until recently when she found him on social media by chance. They haven't gone to court to officially hash out child support terms, but my husband is paying for a lot of the kids' needs right now. Baby mama doesn't seem to be in dire need of money, as I think she comes from a rich family. Ah man, I really wanted to slime her out though, that's unfair. What do you mean she didn't catch his full name? Who am I supposed to pin as an asshole in this situation? She's supposed to be the asshole that kept this child from him for 5 years and didn't tell him. And now you're telling me she didn't get his full name and she only found his social media by chance? God damn it, why is that believable? From the outside in, without any more technical details, she's the asshole in this situation, but god damn it, you and your extra information, OP. I understand the arguments that are going to come in the comments, being like, you don't need a divorce over this, you guys can work it out. I just don't see that being realistic though. If you tied the knot on a history together of being mutually child-free, and you're building a future together that is intentionally child-free, I married this person, one of the solid foundations of this relationship was built on being child-free. If a child suddenly pops up into that marriage, that's going to absolutely destroy your relationship. There's no way that it doesn't, unless you, OP, yourself, decide to self-sacrifice and put up with it, and come to a reasonable middle ground compromise where your values are now being thrown out the window, then no one wins. There is no winning in this situation, and really the best way forward is amicable separation, divorce, start again. He lives his life based off of the child that he now has. You live your life child-free with someone else that doesn't have a child. I think it's that simple. No assholes here. And now, on to update 1. So I had a talk with my husband. To clear a few things up, 1, my husband wants to spend as much time with his son as possible. He even mentioned wanting half custody, and have him live with us. So it's not like he wants to spend a day or two with him, he wants to be as close to a full-time parent as he possibly can. 2, yes, our vows included being child-free. It wasn't in the wedding speech, but we had several long conversations about kids. This was something that we promised each other, so yes, being child-free was a part of our vows. 3, I don't like children, and I don't want to have anything to do with raising children, but it's not like I yell at every kid I see. I guess you can say I hate the responsibility of raising a child, as opposed to hating children themselves. And 4, yes, I would stay with my husband if he got in an accident and became disabled. See, I love and adore my husband, and I'm willing to work for him, but only for him. Adding a whole other person to our lives is different. I can't love his kid. I can't be a good stepmom. I love my husband, but I don't love his kid. Now back to my husband. He almost blew me off again because he was tired from working and spending time with his son. But I insisted, and I told him I don't want to live like this. We talked, and he said he can't leave his kid, and that is the one thing he can't compromise on. He said he's going to see him as much as he can, and he said that he needs to prioritize his kid's well-being over anything else, our relationship included. I told him I don't want to live like that. He said he won't budge on this. We both agreed that we should separate for a while. Neither of us straight up mentioned divorce, but I'm pretty sure that's where we're headed. I feel empty and angry and frustrated. I know my husband's not at fault, I know the kid isn't at fault, but my life is just changing so much. And now for update 2. It's official. We're getting divorced. I wasn't even the one who mentioned it, my husband is the one who said it. He said that if I can't be supportive and caring towards his son, then we can't be together. I had already moved out, and while part of me was hoping for some way to make it work, I think I knew this was inevitable. So it's official. I'm losing my husband, and he's gonna go on to be a father. Honestly, as long as I get my car and the money in my bank account, which I earned myself, we have separate accounts, I'm not gonna fight him. I'm willing to let him have anything in our old place. I'll be honest, I don't know what to do now. Besides going through the divorce proceedings, I just don't know what I'm supposed to do now. All of my life was gonna include my husband, and now he's gone. And now, onto the latest update. It's been a year since all of this started. I never thought that I'd be divorced a year and some weeks ago. I only remembered this post because apparently it was my cake day a few days ago. I've kept lightly in touch with my ex-husband. There's no bad blood between us, but I don't think I could move on if I stayed close to him. We didn't divorce because we didn't love each other after all. As far as I know, my ex-husband and the mother of her child aren't together. I won't lie, I was kind of expecting them to end up together. I still kind of am, to be honest, but my ex-husband has apparently been a good dad to his son. At least as far as I know. I've been dating around recently, but nothing is sticking. Yeah, the big deal breaker is me not wanting kids. I've told some guys about why I divorced, and they were very understanding. I got my own place again, and I'm doing well financially. I never needed my ex-husband to take care of me. Despite my lack of success in dating, I'm feeling good, to be honest. I mourned that my marriage has ended, and I will always enjoy the memories. This was for the best for everyone, to be honest. In the comments, I'm sorry, but why did you expect for him to get with a woman who lied about having his son for 5 years? OP says, she didn't lie. She genuinely couldn't find him. My ex-husband admitted that they never exchanged information. How was she supposed to find him? But honestly, I guess I have a bit of a movie brain going on. I was the evil stepmother who couldn't stand children. She was the single mum who finally found the dad. I was finally gone. If this were a movie, they'd end up together. I mean, if it happens, good for them and the kid. This is about the most no assholes here thread that I've ever seen. Both parties acted responsibly and maturely, and acted with compassion. I'm sorry that OP's marriage ended, but it ended far more cleanly than it would have if she had not been true to herself and had ended up resenting her husband, and even worse, her stepson. This was not a great situation, but this was the best possible outcome. This is just one of those sad circumstances. She didn't want kids, he didn't want kids, but luck happened. The one-night stand didn't hold out information, she just didn't have a way to tell him. It's not obviously wrong for her to let him know. Plenty of people would argue that she should, for the kid's sake and for his sake. Obviously, the actual kid has no say in any of it. No blame, but plenty of harm. Sometimes life does that, and humans are bad at not ascribing blame. What actually spoke to me the most was, I have kept lightly in touch with my ex-husband. There is no bad blood between us, but I don't think I could move on if I stayed close to him. We didn't divorce because we didn't love each other after all. I feel this one. Sometimes you separate, again, without blame and without falling out of love, because bad luck just makes you incompatible. I respect the hell out of OP for making a clean break, even when that isn't necessarily the absolutely, inarguably right thing, because it was the right thing for her. And me too, I respect OP for genuinely just pulling the trigger, making it happen, and separating as soon as she could so that everyone could move on with their lives as fast as possible. It wasn't an easy decision to make, and I know that he is the one that brought up divorce there, but it takes two to tango, and I imagine actually going through with it was incredibly hard for the both of them. Thank you for the story, OP, and thank you for coming back with multiple updates on this one. I don't think more updates will be necessary at this point, but hey, if you want to, you always can. I'm here to listen. Anyway, guys, that's where I'm going to end today's episode. I do hope you enjoyed. If you did, let me know what you thought of it in the comments down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.